As underwater creators, we are always on the hunt for a wide-angle lens, something that we can get close to our subjects with while decreasing the amount of water that we have to shoot through. So today I'm going to be trying out the Laowa 10mm f2.8 lens. This is a full-frame rectilinear lens that has some specs that I think will make it really great for wide-angle underwater photography and video. For reference, I'm shooting at 16mm right now, and this is 10mm. So you can see the difference from 16 to 10. It's actually quite a bit. So I'm excited to get this in the water. I think it can make for some interesting photos. And if you're looking for a wide angle lens, this might be a good option for you. All right, so today I'm gonna be shooting with the Sony A7CR, Laowa 10mm, a couple video lights, and the light housing. So let's put it all together. And then for the Laowa 10mm, the dome shade needs to come off. Cool, so we've got the full-size 8-inch dome with the shade removed, as well as a 20mm extension. So it'll just pop right on the front. And since I'll be shooting mostly on the surface here, not going very deep, I'm gonna make sure to put my housing under a vacuum. Cool, so I'll let this sit for about 10-15 minutes and then jump in the water.
There's a few things that I want to test out with this lens. The first is its field of view. What does 10mm rectilinear look like underwater? The focus distance. There's a really small minimum focus distance, so I'm going to try and get some subjects close to the dome to see what that looks like. And then depth of field. This lens opens up to f2.8, so that combined with a close focus might make for some cool shots. The first thing to do is find the perfect tripod.
I'll try and use the smaller one. See how that works, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just use the bigger one.
And then put that perfect tripod at the perfect height in the water. Next, I'll need to ditch the tripod and find a rock that's exactly 11 inches tall and balance the housing on top. Finally, I'll realize I overthought this and just hold the housing because the shot isn't even that great to begin with. But for the purpose of showing the lens off, this plant is touching the dome and the lens is nailing focus. Overall, here's what I found out about the field of view. It's wide, and you can shoot split shots all day with this lens. It's so easy, but it's almost too wide for the kind of shooting that I'm doing here. I kept wanting to get closer to the subjects, but physically couldn't because either the dome or something else was in the way. 10mm is so wide and it left much of the surrounding environment in the frame and kept the subject too small, in my opinion. In this shot, for example, the bass was right next to my dome and it looks so small in the frame, but I physically couldn't get any closer. This all makes sense though. It's a super wide lens meant for one kind of shot, and not something I'd use to get all the different angles to film a scene with. For a third-party lens, I think the autofocus was solid. For most of these shots, the turtle was right on the dome, and I had no problem coming right up and bumping into it. But the lens is doing a great job of keeping up with the camera to track the turtle, even in these split shots, which can sometimes confuse the camera a bit. If I bring back the audio, you can actually hear how hard the motors are working to keep focus. But it wasn't perfect. There were a few times where I feel like it should have kept locked onto the turtle, but didn't. That might be more of a camera problem though, since it's not hunting for focus or anything. On the photo end of this lens, everything worked without any major surprises. As expected, I got some sharp results around f8 and a bit of stretching around the corners. Softness in the corners is going to be there if you look for it, but I don't think it's too noticeable. Autofocus worked great too, and 10mm on a high resolution camera offered a ton of room to crop in. The bokeh on this lens is also interesting, as it's not very round and comes out as a distinct pentagon, representing the 5 aperture blades. And not that you should be shooting directly into the sun, but when I did, I got the same shape as a flare in the center of the image.
All right, so that's my review of the Laowa 10mm f2.8 lens. Obviously we're in a pond here, so my subjects are a little bit limited, but I think overall I was really happy with it. The stills looked sharp and corners looked good. For video, things looked clean. The autofocus was a little finicky, and it was really interesting to hear all the motors running in this thing. But overall, I think it's a really solid choice for someone that's looking for a wide lens to shoot, coral reefs and more scenic shots, less so for animals. I mean, some of the fish and turtles were right up on my dome, and they were so small in the frame. So definitely better for wider coral reef scenes. If you have any questions about putting this in housing and accommodating it with your camera, you can drop a comment below, or you can reach out to us at icolate@icolate.com.